Hi guys, thanks for watching. Andy here. Let's do 3-card tarot for the sign of Leo now. 3-card tarot for the sign of Leo. So I'm shuffling away here using the Radiant Rider-Waite. It's the old Rider-Waite, but it's been coloured this week, okay? So the first card in this spread for Leo would be, number 16, the Tower of Destruction, friends. Now this looks scarier than it is. I think a great many people who follow the tarot actually know that, but can't emphasise that one enough. It looks like a picture of absolute devastation. Well, if it is, it's not really devastation for you. Okay, it's probably not actual devastation. You see, if I come a bit closer, the characters who are falling from the tower, they don't look kind of terrified or upset. They just look as if, oh, we're falling out of the tower now. What are we going to do next? And that's what you got to think is, what are you going to do next, okay? Because the Tower of Destruction comes in when things are going to change. It's not the same as the Death card. In other words, it's not a complete cutting off of the past, but it is definitely a step forward, which is going to put the past very firmly in the past. Okay, it's golden light here though, and although the fire is burning and burning, it doesn't seem to be burning from down here. It's only the top that's got knocked off. So maybe someone's going to get knocked off their perch, and I don't actually feel that's going to be you, Leo, but the perch is going to move big style, and you might have to find another one. Okay, we don't know yet, but I'm going to shuffle now. Stephen Farmer's Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides deck, and I'll say, tell us more, please, about number 16, the Tower of Destruction, in this reading for the sign of Leo. Tell us more, please, about number 16. I got a feeling this is around relationships and love, you know. I haven't turned the card over. Let's turn it over. Manatee Dugong. Accept the situation as it is, rather than fighting to change it. And this is the thing, right? When the Tower of Destruction is happening, resistance is futile. There's just nothing you can do to change it. This is where things are really taken out of your hands, okay? And as this grey smoke comes up here, I almost feel people trying to think, why is this? You know, how can we stop this? How can we... Sometimes things that come in and cause devastation are actually leading on to the next thing. But I'll say it again, we're not really looking at devastation here, Leo. We're just looking at quite a big, well, a very big change, and quite a lot of energy behind that change. It's a very energetic week this week because there's a solar eclipse coming up. And by the way, if you're watching this in the future, doesn't really matter when you watch these. The best time to watch them is the time you're drawn to them, definitely. Right, nice drink of tea there. And I'm just reminded about the Isle of Skye on the Outer Hebrides there. This ancient stone circle in this picture. I look at that every day. And I think about the influences outside of this world, which are here to help anyone and everyone, and they really are, guys. So don't be afraid to tune into that, whatever you do. But this is going to be a question of accepting the situation rather than trying to change it. Now, if that means a big disappointment, if you'd really, really like to change the situation, or if you feel you desperately need to change the situation, just keep going, just wait and see, okay? Because this is always going to be leading somewhere positive. It just starts off with a moment that you could almost think was negative if you wanted to see things that way. But that isn't necessarily. Okay, so we've got the Tower of Destruction there. It's number 16 though. It's kind of like a second... It's like double the 8 of infinity. So it's getting you ready for infinity, Leo. That's what's happening here. It's getting us ready, all of us. The universe is always working on all of us to get us ready for the next stage of the journey, you know, and those journeys begin here. Some people say charity begins at home. Maybe it does. But I'm saying spiritual journeys begin at home. And the middle card now for the sign of Leo. Golden again. Right. It is the 8 of Pentacles. So we've got that 8 number, that feeling of not exactly completion, but spiritual completion, most certainly. If a thing isn't totally complete in our world, well, I wouldn't worry too much about that. We can only try our best, Leo. But look at all the energy here. We've actually got 8 pentacle symbols. So we're looking at earth energy, really. It's kind of Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. I think you're going to need some Capricorn tenacity to hang on, you know. You're going to have to, like, keep things tightly gripped as far as I can see here. But look, this guy's working away. Things are looking good. Things are going to work. But he could do with having to think about, you know, how did he actually get in this position in the first place? And if he's just been through the Tower of Destruction, he will be wondering how he got in that position, because that's what happens. It's like, oh, what was that all about? Dear me. Right. So the Eight of Pentacles is a very positive sign. I'm actually drawn also to these buildings in the background. He doesn't look far from home. It looks like he could walk that distance in a fairly short time. But it does look like prosperity to me. It looks like he kind of, the more work he does, the better he's going to kind of belong in that rather nice, comfortable town in the distance. So we could see that, my friends. Some people would call it the kingdom of heaven. I think that's a little bit flowery, but you know, the spirit realm, which is actually all a part of this realm that we live in, is absolutely vast. And so whatever's going on here is getting this chap closer to the spiritual truth of his life, as well as the kind of the physical success, because we see a certain amount of money indicated in the Pentacles. It's very positive in that sense. But more than anything, it's earth, air, fire, and water working together under the influence of the divine. That's why there's 5. It's also a very magical symbol because well, it's easy to know these days that the angle you need to draw a pentagram is 72 degrees. But think of back in the days before drawing instruments and stuff, you really had to be a magician to be able to draw a pentagram and make it look good. So things are getting easier these days, but that brings with it all kinds of new problems and things, and I feel that this is actually a lot of small problems being taken away. You know, it's going to have a big effect, but it's a lot of small problems being cleared up, and that actually leaves the bigger picture much healthier and much easier to deal with. So tell us some more about the Eight of Pentacles, please, in this reading, in this spread for the sign of Leo, which I'm doing right at the end of June 2019. But the best time to listen to these or watch them or whatever you want to do is when you're drawn to do it, friends. Okay, so for Leo, tell us more about the Eight of Pentacles in this spread, please. And we have Spider. Ugh. Trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. Now, I've had mediums and psychics and people like that telling me to write a book for a very long time, and I really should, but I don't fancy it. I just don't fancy it. But maybe I'll get some modern gadget that writes down all my words or something, and then I'll do it. But look, that has been a creative spark that's been with me for about 10 years, and I've never really done anything with it, so I can't really complain that it hasn't worked and it hasn't happened. So now we're starting to see what the steady work is about here. This guy's getting on steadily with the work. It's Pentacles energy, so it is all encompassing. But there's something he's not getting on with that could bring a lot of inspiration into the world and help people a lot. Now, if this is a relationship, this is one of those situations where you both know you want each other, but you kind of, oh, I better not ask, you know. You can get stuck in those situations for years, and what happens then is the person eventually moves on, you know. So if you're really looking for love, do something about it, okay? And trust that creative spark. Whatever it is, whether it's love, romance, money, work, absolutely anything, you know. Are you dreaming? Are your dreams rather difficult? That's just popped into my head there. Sometimes, well, nearly always actually, when we're going to take a new spiritual direction, it is actually because we have got that spark within us and we are being guided forward to use it some more. And crazy dreams can come in then, wacky dreams that we do not understand. But friends, if you write them down, slowly they'll start to make sense. Sometimes very quickly, actually. You'd be surprised how much we forget within about 10 minutes of waking up. So there's that other world, that other realm that we all go to, the dream time, as the Aboriginal Australians call it. The dream time is a real thing. I think that world is more real than this world. I really do. But there we go. That's always getting me into trouble. We live in this world. Keep it real, keep it grounded, and stay safe and protected, guys. Okay. But looking very positive for Leo. This is an absolutely great card. And it's just what you need after the Tower of Destruction to get things facing the right way and on the up again. And we all want to be on the up, do we not, my friends? Okay. So, final card for Leo in this spread, which I'm doing right at the end of June 2019. But which people can watch whenever they blinking well like. And the last card in this spread is, oh, 2 have fallen out. 3 have fallen out. Oh, I better be quick then. Right, okay. Very positive, this one. Ace of Cups, that's the first one that jumped out at me. So those longings, those heartfelt desires, those things that are really necessary in the heart cancer, they are going to be overflowing. Also, Cups, it means water signs, which does mean you, Cancer, as well as Scorpio and Pisces. So those characters might be around a bit. But this is basically water energy. This is longings, this is desires. This is what really matters deep deep within the heart. We've got the kind of green energy here. We've got floral things appearing. So it's very much about abundance, which you would expect to get, actually. That's what comes next after this in the general story of things. Okay, other one that came out, King of Swords, so there's a lot to think about, and you do need to listen to your own thoughts a fair bit about this. So give it some time, really give it some time. But this looks like a strong male energy coming in to move you forward, and that's why you need to get your ducks in a row and know which way you're going, because that energy is powerful. And the third one that fell out, Seven of Pentacles. Right, so this shows really we're still in the general progress that we're making here. It's going further and further. It's uplifting. But when we get to the Seven of Pentacles, we have to just think and stop and think a little bit. How did we get here? You know, what difference have we actually made to ourselves in a positive way? And what difference have we made to other people? The people that work for us, the other people that shared in this project, soul family, heart family, loves everybody really. But generally speaking, what effect are we having on the world? We've got to think about that. If this is a relationship issue, just ask yourself, are you really headed in the right direction? We can cut our nose off to spite our face around relationships. I've often done it. It's one of my favourite tricks that I'm always annoyed that I've done to myself. It's very, very easy to just confuse that picture, guys. But sometimes you just got to go for it and make a thing happen. Okay, because there's loads of energy around to make things happen. Especially here, look at that dove diving head first into the cup. That is peace coming in. It's bringing, I would say, prosperity as well because of the other cards in this spread. But it's definitely about peace, and it's being at peace with those heartfelt longings and desires. So tell us more about the Ace of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles in this now 5-card tarot reading for the sign of Leo. Okay, and we have Kiwi, do a walking meditation each day of the next week. Sorry, I can't read things too well this time in the morning. Kiwi, yes, do a walking meditation. Now, a walking meditation is a really special thing because it gets a rhythm going. And people, when we're trying to kind of work with the spirit realms and be more and more out there, we'll often say, well, you know, kind of it's nothing to do with this world. They don't recognise times, etc. Well, they do recognise a rhythm, which is why it's always good to do kind of spiritual practices more or less the same time every day if you can. It's not always that easy. But there's more information, you see, when this card comes up. So even if you can't get out and walk long distances or even short distances, don't worry about it. Be in that meditative frame of mind and actually be doing something. So there's some kind of pulse and some kind of rhythm. Because it's all about the law of attraction. You know, if we're actually like sitting around thinking, oh, nothing's going to happen, then nothing will. It's getting out there. That lets the inspiration come in. That lets us see where we're going next. That lets us see what it's all about. And that lets us then understand, you know, what's going on around us. And that is so precious, is it not? Okay, guys, well, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, Leo and everybody else who's watched. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that bell, leave me a comment. We'll share the journey, share me around the internet, and do check out my back catalogue, guys. There's getting on for 400 videos on my channel now, and you are welcome to watch every single one of them if you'd like to. Meanwhile, I'll be back very soon. Thanks again. Have a great week. Peace.